Welcome everyone to our fourth episode of the group of member series of Crime, Extremism and Terrorism Group. Today we have Nicolas Cremin, who is the founding director of the Next Generation 5.0 of the International Counterterrorism Youth Network and a non-resident fellow of the program on extremism at the George Washington University. His research primarily focuses on the role of family in Islamist radicalization and the intersection between extremism, terrorism, and sport. Prior to joining the POE, Nicolo worked as a research analyst at the Combating Jihadist Terrorism in the UK, also called COGIT UK, and a researcher at the International Institute of Counterterrorism, ICT. He holds an MA with distinction in terrorism, security, and society from the War Studies Department at King's College London, and a BA with honors in investigation and security sciences from the University of Perugia. Welcome, Nicolo.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Likewise. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, so we go straight into the question, Adelaide. That's okay for you?
Yeah, of course. You can start with the first question.
Okay, shall I start first, or you go, as you prefer? Okay. So, okay, that's fine. So, Nicolo, what is the mission of NextGen 5.0, and what value do you young professionals bring to the organization?
Well, as you said, I'm the founding director of NextGen at the International Counterterrorism Youth Network. So NextGen and ICTYN are two no-profit and independent organizations committed to empowering and inspiring the next generation of peace and security experts in order to build a more secure and prosperous world. So we deliver our mission in different ways. For instance, we engage in ongoing discussion and initiative with the global institute, university, and private companies about how to promote youth participation in the realm of international security and affairs. Then, we try to foster analytical problem solving and leadership skills in what we hope will be the next generation of security experts in order to prepare them to advance their career and compete in today's job market. And of course, we perform also research and analysis on critical global, regional, and country-specific security challenges that bring forward a fresh perspective and new approaches and innovative policy solutions. As regard, the value that you bring to our institute, let me say that, our aim is, try to create a new paradigm for the way the security field think about young people. Youth are at the heart of the solution to the world's greatest challenges, and we consider their role not to be that of passive participants, but rather as powerful catalysts for positive change and key contributors of novel security solutions to current and future global problems. So, just to give you some data, more than 50% of our research team is composed by individuals under 25 years old, and we have a very well-balanced workforce in terms of, a gender and regional representation.
Okay. So
thank you very much.
Given that, how might young people get involved in counterterrorism research initiatives and practices?
Well, this is a very good question. Personally, I think that a more active participation of youth in the field of counterterrorism in general, but more broadly in the international security sphere, is not only crucial, but is also necessary. For instance, if we look back since the turn of the century, the world has been subject to a period of rapid change, where even in the tempo of advancement of sciences and technology. And of course, such change outpaces our ability to fully comprehend the achievement themselves, let alone their implication for international security. Today, a vast area of phenomena, including climate change, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and so on, are changing the world in ways that will make it nearly unrecognizable to many, particularly, I believe, to the older generation. And and if you look specifically at the counterterrorism field, it must be noticed how since the declaration, for instance, of the War of Terror, the nature of the adversary has evolved, and a new generation of terrorists has arisen. a generation who grew up in the age of internet, smartphone, social media. And of course, to counter this generation of terrorists, we need people who grew up in the same environment, that can understand them better, that can understand why fellow individuals fall prey of radical ideology. And of course, young can play an active role in this. And addressing this type of challenge, of course, require both the global cooperation and the active participation of youth. But the problem is that their voice are too often either unheard or undervalued in the academic and policy-making circle, from my point of view. So the key issue here is how to make their voice more heard. First of all, I think that youth should be given more space in academia and more specifically in academic platform. In such direction, for instance, at NextGen, in partnership with the International Institute for Counterterrorism at the Huri Rekman University in Herzliya, we have launched the International Counterterrorism Review, which is a student publication intended to providing student and young professional with the opportunity to publish their paper, share innovative ideas, and exchange research and policy recommendation. And I believe that such kind of initiative represent a good starting point for young students and postgraduate to expand their professional CV and start developing a career in counterterrorism studies. Then there is also a second aspect I think that is important to mention, and I think that if we want to reach a major involvement of youth in counterterrorism, young students and young scholars themselves should pay more attention to the policy dimension of research. Yeah. So if there is something that I've learned throughout my academic and professional journey in Europe, North America, and the Middle East, is that university, and particularly the European ones, are great in equipping you with the theoretical and methodological knowledge to successfully work in the academia and the think tank world. But they tend to fall short when it comes to providing you with the necessary training to pursue a career in the government or private sector, for instance. Of course, Adelaide, this doesn't apply to you. I know that you have studies in Israel, and I'm well aware about the importance they give to the policy and practical implication of research. But over the years, I've spoken to dozens of postgraduates who were struggling to pass job application for works in, for instance, risk assessment and consultancy field. And because they didn't have any experience, for instance, in writing policy paper or risk assessment or intelligence report. So within this picture, I think that it's clear that engaging activities such as could be policy-oriented essay competition, or even the It's Verona new magazine and call for papers is a good way to start gaining practical experience in analyzing concrete scenario, and more importantly, also in introducing new ideas, perspective, and recommendation to practitioner and policymaker on how to resolve crucial security challenges.
Amazing.
Okay.
So in addition to those that you already are on the line, what are the main difficulties that young professionals face when they decide to work in the field of counterterrorism?
Well, unfortunately, there are too many difficulties to count. Despite, we can say that the field is in dire need of a more diverse team of young experts that can develop and have the ability to develop new cross-cultural strategy and approaches due to factors like geographical location or weak or non-existent connection to institute and the job market, or lack of opportunities for the training and the practical experience required to enter today in the workforce. Many youth find themselves, I would say, unable to pursue career in peace and security studies. And as a result, their potential contribution and innovation are lost, and of course, the conventional wisdom remain unchallenged, leaving the international community hamstrung in the race to deal with the emerging threat. For instance, at NextGen and ICTYN, we are currently working on building the first social media in the security, international relation, and counterterrorism And a few months ago, we conducted a market research. We had almost 200 students and young researchers who completed an online survey, which provided us with deeper insight about the main challenges the youth are facing today or that have faced while looking for a job in this field. I have some data here that I think are worthy of mention. So for instance, 56% of the sample state that one of the main challenges that they are facing in getting a job is high job competition. About 50% say that poor networking interview skills are a major obstacle in getting a job. 40% indicate the gaps between education and employment, as well as the lack of trainee level rules as a contributing factor to youth unemployment. Finally, also, employers' perception of young people and lack of accurate and engaging career information were seen as a major challenge by approximately 30-35% of the sample. So within this picture, it's clear that there is a lot that needs to be done in order to solve some of these challenges.
That's true. So how does NextGen inspire and empower the next generation of global leaders in the security field?
Well, as I said at the beginning of our conversation, here at NextGen and ICTYN, we work to foster a new generation of global leaders in order to promote innovation. To fulfill our mission, we have developed a comprehensive four-stage approach, namely reach, empower, connect, and innovate. So such approach is designed to help young people to gain, on the one hand, experience and connection required to move on to increasingly important position in either the academic or policymaking spheres. And at the same time, also provide them with the chance to contribute fresh ideas and solution addressing some of the world's greatest challenges. As I said, the first stage is called reach. So basically, throughout a combination of outreach campaign on social media, university partnership and event, and of course also through the work of a motivated team of international ambassadors, we are identifying and recruiting students, recent graduates, and young professionals all across the globe that may have the potential to make important contribution to the field. Currently, our community counts hundreds of members from, I think, more than 60 or 70 different countries. So it's truly a very diverse environment. As regards the second stage of our approach, we aim to empower our members to reach their full potential as agent of change and compete in today's job market. And we are doing this, by offering, for instance, them with the access to training, work experiences, internship, and mentorship opportunities. And we believe that these combined efforts will contribute, we hope, to building an international youth cadre who have the skills required to succeed in a wide variety of different roles in the research, policy making, and consulting realms. The third stage, very briefly, is named Connect, and of course, as you know, as young scholars, one of the biggest challenges for any graduate or younger researcher is finding the right position. But as I said earlier, a broad range of factors, ranging from weak links to the job market to an underdeveloped security studies field, domestic security studies field, of course, can prove obstacles to young job seekers across the world. And we believe that one of the best ways to solve this problem is connecting people. So through an ongoing dialogue with the public and the private sector, we identify opportunities and connect, for instance, potential employers to members whose background or skills and expertise match their needs. And by linking young experts with their fellow colleagues abroad, as well as researcher, practitioner, and think tank and research institute. We aim to act as a sort of central hub for international cooperation on issues concerning youth involvement in peace and security studies.
Finally, the last step is related to the innovation part of our organization. As I said earlier, we believe that young people can be powerful catalysts for positive change and contributions and contributors of novel security solution to current and future global challenges. And of course, the key is to this lies in providing a venue in which they can obtain the training, the experience, and the connection required to both prove their abilities and make themselves heard. And we intend to fulfill this role by providing opportunities for our members to become involved in conducting applied research aimed at addressing real-world problems, and in this way fostering the development of skills and experiences that span the traditionally dividing lines of academic and practitioner.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I like that. Are there anything else to add to? Any question? Or
no, I don't have any question.
Okay.
Anything more?
Nicola, thank you very much. It's a
Thank
pleasure.
you
It's been a
so
pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Thank you. Thank you too.